Anytime you are in a place or in a situation, or you find yourself in a circumstances that looks overwhelming, confusing, you are not sure how, where, how did I get here? Just go to the roots, go to the foundation, trace it. That's my nickname. You trace it, you embrace it, you erase it and start replacing it. If you can't trace the root of your challenges, there's no way you will embrace what you cannot change. There are things that had happened to us. We have to live with the scars. But one thing I'm sure of is, as a person, you can turn your scars to be a star. Your scars can turn to stars. Your mess can become your message. You can choose in the midst of your storm, in the midst of your challenges, in the midst of your foundational hustles, crises, in the midst of your foundational crises, trouble, confusion, you could come out and say, well, this is me. I'm a wounded healer. I embraced it. I can't change it. I can't help having to divorce. I can't help having been raped. I can't help having been molested. I can't help having been scammed. I can't help having been in an accident that my knees or my legs or my hands are broken. I can't help it, but I can use my limb, my broken leg. I can use my scars and let it become a star for the world to hear, for the world to know that whatever happens to you, you can press the pit or you can press the palace. It's your choice. That's why when I have guests, I bring them to share their story. I've always said it. I don't bring my guests to the program to wow you and, telling story and say, wow, you, yeah. No, that's not the essence. I take every part of their story to teach. I take every part of their story to tell someone not to get into that, to caution someone, and to make someone to know that if this happened to this person and this person can come out, I can also be out of my mess. My mess can also become my message. I have a guest in the house, of course. No name, no face, no identity. This is our story. This is our reality. This is our mess. This is our scars that is turning to stars. This is our life that she's ready to bring to the public space for people to know that life may not be fair, but there's a dimension of divinity that is faithful. And that's why I want you to listen carefully. If you have not subscribed to this channel, like, subscribe and share with your friends. Please don't listen alone and don't watch alone. Like, subscribe. Let people know that something is being released from the hills. Let someone know that whatever is your mess, there's a message that is flowing from that place of your pain for somebody not to go through a similar situation. Yes, I have a guest in the house. I always say no name, no face, no identity. And that was the part she has chosen just to keep it masked. But honestly, she's not masking it because you see here her voice. And it's her story, is what has happened to her. Yes, welcome my guest. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, ma. Let me start like this. I never grew up with my parents. According to my mom, I was given to my grandparents to take care of as young as 3 months.
Wow.
So I was with my grandparents till I was around, say, preschool age. And they came for me because, according to them, I started running away. Whenever I see them, whenever they come visiting, I don't gel. So,
meaning that you saw them as strangers?
Yes.
Because they dropped you at what age?
3 months.
Wow. So definitely it's like a stranger. Did they made any effort to want to probably take you or something? Why? Can you remember why you chose?
According to them, it was when I started running away from them. Whenever they come visiting, that's the reason why they decided to bring me back home.
That's why they actually said, let us come and take our kids.
I guess so.
Because you guess so, actually.
I think so.
You were still young, so you're not even sure.
I'm not sure.
Wow. Go ahead.
So I was taken back home. Then I had a younger brother. But what I noticed was that there was now comparison between me that was raised outside with the one being raised by them. So any little thing I do, you hear the word
now,
life.
Can you explain why they had to drop you at age 2 now that you have grown up? Because sometimes we don't know what happened. We don't know the circumstances that surrounded having to drop you with your grandma.
As well, it is whatever they told me that I would say. According to them, my dad was busy, my mom too was busy, and so they don't want to have a house help. So they felt that dropping me with them at that tender age would do.
So they actually handed over the driver's seat of your life to your grandmother.
Yeah, so I came home and I felt like running back.
Because the comparison
was there. Any little thing, they'll tell me, can't you see that your brother is smarter than you? Can't you see that you are not wise enough? You know, a whole lot of things. And though my dad tried to want to bridge the gap, but it was so obvious from my mom.
So your mother was the one showing the favoritism?
Yes, so it was so obvious from my mom's angle. So we grew up, we had another one came, a boy too. So we are 3 as of then.
2 boys and a girl.
2 boys and a girl.
And you are the only girl?
I was the only girl as of then. So due to the circumstances of the birth of the 3rd one, my dad preferred that one, and it was also so obvious. Like everybody knows in the house that's daddy's favorite, and the one after me was my mom's favorite. So me, I was favoriteless.
Wow.
If there is any language like that. So I have no favorite. So some things that my younger ones would do and they would go away with it. If I try doing them, I will get the beating of my life. So it's always like you are the first, you should lead the principal. And I was like, what principal? I don't even know anything from you, you know. They were like, I should know that this thing should have. I don't know. Like
that's the firstborn syndrome. They always go through that.
Mine is even not different. Because
they didn't train you.
I don't even know.
Was trained and nurtured and taught.
So I don't know.
That's the child that you expect something.
And it came so early, like immediately I started living with them. Like, you are this age, you should now. Like, where I'm coming from.
And grandma would have pampered you too.
I was treated like a baby, you know.
I know.
Grandma does everything for me. So why do you expect me to know certain things that I should know? Though my dad tried to be kind of lenient with me, but it was not so on my mom's part. So I think I grew up like that. I was growing up until I was 8. I think that day what happened was we had a faulty tap in our wash and base in the toilet. And one of my dad's colleagues happens to be a plumber, like the side hustle. So my dad not told him that it was on the morning shift that the guy should come and fix up the tap. Actually, there was no sex education, and you could guess then.
No,
there was no sex education, nothing. So, but I feel it was an instinct. The guy was about 2 flats away from us.
How old was he then?
Myself.
That
guy.
Plumber, yes.
Plus minus, say, late 30s, early 40s.
And how old were you then?
Just 8.
Wow, 8 to 30.
Because his own firstborn was actually older than me. The guy's firstborn was actually older than me. Though my father was actually older than him. But his firstborn was older than me as at then. So he came to our house and came on a towel.
Wow.
So me saying that a grown-up man, there is something, a principle in my house, whether you are a boy or a girl, no matter the intense of the heat, you don't go naked. You shall must put something must be on you, no matter the weather. You must have something on you. So now seeing a grown man coming from his own house to mine on a towel, and if my dad is not going to the bathroom, you don't see him on such. So he came, I wasn't comfortable. He called me to come show him the faulty tap. I was scared, seeing such. I followed him. He went into the bathroom. I was like, come and show me the tap. I just stood by the door like, that's the tap now. You know.
At 8, you were still
like,
smart, yeah.
That's the tap. You can actually see it. It's very close to the door. He was like, come in now. This and that.
Wow.
I came in though, but I was alert. I came in, was trying to check under the basin, and before I knew it, it's, you know those kind of toilet that has the bathtub, the toilet seat, and the wash hand basin. So that's the kind of the general toilet. So he pushed me in towards the water closet. I was like, now bend down and look at the tap. So
he pushed you,
he
touched you.
Yes, touched me in. And then the next thing, the towel dropped.
Wow.
And I saw his pants. Then I knew there was trouble. I knew there was problem. So before we could say Jack Robinson, he started touching me in places. But because I was alado, I don't have that picture. I haven't heard anything about that before. I don't know anything of such. But I knew that what he was actually doing was wrong. So I beat him like Ogeje.
The teeth. Good one. Yes,
So,
I used to tell ladies, somebody said they raped me. Where are your fingers? Where is your teeth? Let the man know that is no, no, no. I'm not teaching violence. I'm just saying what she did was just self-defense. Anything you can do to defend yourself. But sometimes those people are very strong.
I'm still coming to another story.
Wow.
So I beat him, and he had to run out. Then my brothers were like, we are hearing sounds. So they called my name, like, what's happening? I just told them nothing. So the two guys came. Like, by then, he's picked up his towel. And the wrap on my leg. Come and show me. I say, see, sir, if you don't see what you're asked to fix, then maybe you call your boss to come and show you what it is. But for me, I'm not coming back into that toilet anymore. So
at 8, smart girl.
He left. And I noticed one thing. He started avoiding my dad. It was, the secret was just between me and him. I knew the reason why he was avoiding our home, thinking maybe I would have spilled to my parents. Okay. But me, I cannot spill it because I don't even have that kind of relationship with my parents as of then.
I said it before that you must build a relationship with your kids that they'll be so comfortable to tell you anything. I mean anything. This is sad. I wish they could be available, or they were available for her to talk to. The reason why I'm pained about this episode is she would not be the first person and the last person. If you cannot go home and tell your parents about what somebody did that was wrong, it might not even be sexual assault. It could be one uncle saying something that makes you uncomfortable in your heart, and you can't go home to expose such a secret. The painful part of it is this person will continue to perpetuate that evil, and she will not just be the only victim of that situation and circumstances. Other kids will suffer it. I wish you could go home and tell your dad and mom and say, Dad, Mom, this person, do you think they'll believe you?
I don't even know.
Wow.
I don't know whether they're going to believe me or not.
Go ahead, please.
So we started avoiding our home, and he later didn't fix the tap. It was someone else that fixed it. So I grew up like that, comparison. It was actually tough. So I noticed that I lost something they call love. Though I don't know the language to use as a then, but I know that any little thing, even if the mistake or whatever happened wasn't my fault, I would still be the one to pay for it. Even, you get to a stage. So I think, like I heard you say the other time, I started developing the act of reading. Because definitely I had no one to talk to. And then, it wasn't all this phone type, no phone, no early morning TVs. So I started reading anything that comes my way. Novels, newspapers, magazines, just to keep myself busy.
You are medicating your pain with whatever you find. Like I said, there must be an outlet. You are not wired to bottle up. We are not wired to bottle up. If something is happening to you and your soul is hurting and is wounded, you must put something in to medicate that pain. So reading was the way you were medicating.
Yes, I was just reading. So once I am alone, I find joy in reading. So my mom loved that aspect. Like, she's always reading. And that reading is a kind of escape route for me. So once they see me reading, in fact, I will be blessed.
So they don't know that reading was a
covering
mask.
up something.
You were covering rejection, lack of love, feeling of abandonment, hatred, nothing to feel special about. You don't feel loved. You don't feel you are intelligent. You don't feel you are smart. An 8-year-old girl that had arrested the rapist, the molester, beat him with her teeth, is now being seen as bookworm, not knowing that you are not a bookworm. You are just hiding.
I was just hiding.
How many parents hear me? You don't even know your kids. There is no actions or reaction of your child that should be seen or noticed. Let me put it that way. Even if it's an intelligent act or a move that is positive, still probe. There's no sin in probing. I do a lot of probing. I don't probe to destroy. I don't probe to malign. I don't probe to make someone feel negative. But I just want to find out, why is this person doing this? If the mother had been a good person to probe into this book thing, probably go ahead with your story.
Maybe she would have noticed something. But I was just reading. So I started reading. The reading now graduated to having to borrow books from friends. So I was not exposed to this, the romance stuff of reading. And then I started having
the mental picture of the fantasy.
Thank you.
Well, so I'm a sexual addiction therapist, so I understand.
So the thing is, when a story ends,
your mind
I begin to continue. I just continue they shouldn't have ended like this, something like this. So I will start recreating pictures on my head. So I grew up in this primary school. Secondary school was not that eventful. I'm no friends per se. I would just go to school, come back, be the obedient girl, even when I don't want to.
You don't want to be beaten. You are like the black sheep and the first child.
So I just have to be obedient. When it turns tough for my parents, I became the sacrificial lamb, understanding all the understandable. Even when I don't need to, I started having this pity, so to say, for them, things are not going on fine now. We are in financial crisis. And so I just have to manage. Even when others are not managing, I'll still be the one to. I managed even when I finished secondary school. My younger ones went to the higher institution before me, and I was still managing.
Let me say this to parents. Anytime a child is dumped and abandoned, and the child is at the mercy of grandma, aunties, uncles, families, one thing is sure: the child will never ever believe that he or she is entitled to anything. That was the trauma, that was the psychological trauma, because it felt they dumped me with grandma at the age of 2. I'm back home. The others are better than me. Daddy's favorite, mommy's favorite, no favorite. So it's not just becoming a sacrificial lamb or a guinea pig. It's just that you couldn't fight for anything. There's nothing to fight for. So anything you are given, you even see it as a privilege. You don't feel you have a right. There's no sense of entitlement that children have with their parents. Mommy, I don't want this. I want this. I can't eat this. You don't have that.
I won't.
That's the bit. So that's a trauma point for her.
So I think my dad died when I was in SS1. So left with at least the little support I had died. So I'm now left with my mom. And the funniest part of it was that I was loving her. But I wanted her to be my friend. So anything she says, anything she does, I just want to be that good girl, to be accepted. I just want to be that girl that is welcomed. But I just guess that all my trials with her were not just good enough. So I accepted my fate. When my dad died, I was in SS1. I did some hawking too. You could imagine my background. So now stoop solo to doing hawking. Series of rape attempts while working, while hawking.
So there were a lot of rape attempts while hawking.
I was just lucky not to fall victim. When you are at the door of a customer, let me so to say, and they tell you come and collect money inside, and that 8-year-old experience will just come.
The trauma is there.
Me, if you like, hold the money. If you like, don't bring it out. Me, I'm not going to leave here. You bought the goods outside, so you pay outside. Why should I sell you goods outside and you now want me to come inside to pay? But eventually I fell victim of the so-called rape.
Wow.
I think I was around 18. When you want to be loved and there is nothing forthcoming. I tried to keep myself when I was in secondary school. No boyfriend, no attachment, no relationship, no nothing. So I came into the secondary school plain and I left plain. With my purity and all. I tried
as a virgin, actually.
Yes. I just kept it like that. But I guess 2 years after, I was now working as a receptionist with the printing outlet then. I met a guy there. He appeared so sweet. So to say, he was kind of giving me a listening ear.
What was missing
at home
in your parents, you found it in
So, though I tried to open up to my mom, anytime a man comes around, I would tell her that as I was going outside today, I met a guy. I will even describe the guy. He's tall, he's dark, he's short, he's this, he's that. He was like, shall be careful. That's it. Shall be careful. That's it.
So there's no information, there's no explanation.
Nothing.
About. She doesn't know better. That's
so she just be careful. Be careful. All the languages, be careful. So all with this carefulness, I was thinking, yes, I'm careful, until a trap was set and I fell into it.
Wow.
So this guy, he came out like he was so serious with me, gave me the key to his house. Any of the time I'm not around, you come in, but I never went behind him. I just had the key. But the courage to now go behind a man to his house to go and do what? I don't need it. So that was a Sunday like that. No, a Saturday. He came to my office, so to say, and told me that he wants me to help him, that he has used his clothes and he wants me to help in washing them. And at the beginning of the relationship, I told him, it's a no to sex. I'm not doing this because I wanted your money. I'm not doing this because I wanted to have any sexual relationship. All I wanted is just a friend, someone, maybe a father figure I'm missing. That's all.
Not maybe, that's the truth.
So I made it clear, like there will be no visiting without a friend. So all these come and visit me, the key to my house. Well, I will just help you to keep it in case you lost yours. So that this will be like a spear. And so that day he said, okay, once you close from church, you can come help me with my washing and all. So I told my mom that I need to help a friend out. That day, actually, she was not willing to make me go. She said, what friend? Like, what help? I said, she has used her clothes and she needs to, like...
He or she, I'm sure
I don't think I put the pronoun.
Yes, you won't put the pronoun because you know that probably if you had said a guy Mama would have vehemently said no. Probably.
So she now said, okay, don't be late. I said, just washing, just 1 or 2. While she's washing, I said, Yoruba does not even have a plural or the singular. Like, so, it doesn't even indicate whether it's a man or a female. So I went. On getting there, I was like, where are the clothes? He said he has washed them in the morning, that he didn't go to church.
That was on a Sunday, right?
It was a Sunday. So I said, okay, then let me go back to my house. Said, you and this, you're too strict. It's just I just want us to have nice time. That was why I washed those clothes in the morning, so that we can just have time to talk. You're always in a haste. Even when you come to the house, it's always be at the door. You go. It's always this. It's his office. So like that. And I said, okay, try rest a little, like rest. And that was the rest that cost me my pride. So I sat down, and within the twinkle of an eye, the guy just locked the door. Pam! All these double deck that has once a CD finished playing, the other one will just pick you, put about 3, 4, 5 CDs.
And it's loud.
And it's very loud. So I was like, put this thing down. Are you not the only one enjoying the
music?
In our house, we don't do all this loud stuff. I'm kind of brought up in an Olufunke way. So you don't do all this loud stuff. You're listening to the music in your house and the whole community must know that you are listening to music. Are you not the one playing the music to enjoy by yourself? He didn't answer me. So before I could say anything, he just locked the door and just flung the keys to God knows where in his room.
Wow.
That is when I know there is definitely a problem. So, and the struggle, the music was loud, so how will I shout? Even if I shout, who's going to hear me? As much as I struggled to go to the door, of course, he will always overpower me and drag me back. I think that was around 6. I think it was around 4 in the evening. And the struggle started. And then I never knew he was eating a spankere, the Yoruba spankere.
Okay.
Everywhere in his house, the belt, everything has been strategized. And
what?
I was thinking, yes, I have the power, no man can.
Because at least you beat the first person.
So why would that was even when I was 8. So now that I'm about 18, 10 years after.
Forget it.
Forget it. Now what's this? So it started like joke, the struggle, the don't touch me, the this, the that, don't kiss me, I don't. And so the guy felt like, sees that I was not taking it easy.
Kai.
He now resorted to the blows, the cane, the belt. And I was doing this, I didn't leave his house until 11:30. Since 4.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
He told me that
8 hours.
Yes, he told me that if it takes the whole day, if it takes the whole night.
Why is it wicked?
I don't know.
Must be a person with one serious personality disorder.
So
maybe a sociopath or something.
I was beaten, I begged, I cried, I pleaded. He will rest, he will plead, he will beg, he will still go back.
No. The question is, go back to have sex with me.
No, go back to trying to
want to have
sex with me. So it will get to a stage.
He will beat you.
He will beat.
He will say no.
I will say no. He will beg. He will beg. He will appeal.
Please.
He will say love. I was like, so it got to a stage. I was not like,
you love me and you want
to. Then if you actually love me, then you should adhere to what I wanted, not your ways. If I'm ready, you don't need to force me.
Wow.
If I'm ready, you don't need to force me. But I got tired. I got weak. I wanted to go home.
Wow.
Because I know my mom would be like, where is this girl? I was weak, I was tired, I was thirsty, I was hungry. I just wanted to go home. So he had his way. And when he saw the blood, I was like, okay, you sent the blood, can I go now? Just please, I hope I'm not going to be pregnant with this. Because that would be another story. That would have been another trauma. So I went home. My mom was outside. She couldn't tell the neighbors. She was just like, where are you coming from? And that night, she was not calm. She was patient with me. Like, where were you coming from? You said you wanted to help a friend. And why is it that it took you to look at? I just told her, I'm divergent. I've been divergent. She was like, by your friend? She said, by your friend? So I now narrated what happened to her. That night, we didn't sleep. She now had to tell me her own experience. But her own experience was, she gave consent to it. It wasn't rape or something. So what are we now going to do to this man? She said, by the time she started dragging it, the whole community will know.
Yeah, it's a shame.
The shame, so we just had to bury it. Then we came around, started begging, this and that. I just told him, Uncle, this is not the kind of person I wanted in my life. I've forgiven you, just go. But be prayerful that I don't get pregnant. Because if I do, you are going to spell it out. But if I'm not pregnant and I don't get infected in any way, carry your wahala and be going. So I was not infected, I was not pregnant. So I stayed off the radar of relationship. I just stayed off.
Now the question is, your child comes home and tells you, I'm raped, I was molested, one uncle touched my breast, touched my private part. I agree you don't want to expose it. What happens to seeing a therapist, seeing a professional, seek someone to help you to flush that pain, that trauma of of your child's mind? You want to tell me that the fact that you were not pregnant and you were not infected by any form of venereal disease, does it mean that the experience has gone? Is it like that?
I know. I didn't leave. And I started avoiding men as much as I can. I started moving away, no relationship, no nothing, until I clocked 21. And same thing happened again. This time around by someone that eventually became my husband. So he had to, it was like, I'm interested in you and blah, 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 blah. And that one was, in fact, I never tried any relationship. I was just like, it's a no. Like, it's a no.
Because your first sexual exposure was
so I was
not just
like,
physically abusive, emotionally, psychologically, beaten to rape. Come on.
So
you can't take that route.
It was a no. A no. So one day like that, I am a member of the youth fellowship in church. So the president as at then was handing over to me. So there are some documents that we will be needing, which happens to be with my husband. So
then he wasn't your husband?
Then he was not. So I went there. I told him on Sunday that I'll be coming over to pick those documents, those papers and all.
All this happened to you as a church girl?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So like I'll be coming over. When I said he came around, approached me, I said no. So I felt the no was a no. Everybody was just going
Men
there.
are hunters.
So the no was a no. And I went to his house. I didn't meet him at home, but his apartment was open. So I sat down waiting for him, and he came around and was like, okay, before you pick the document, what about what I have been saying to you and all? And I'll pick the paper. Like, if what I'm saying in my mouth, you don't understand, if I should write it down, at least you will know that I'm serious about it. So I picked the paper and wrote, I am not interested. And I gave it to him to read. And I wrote it there, my name is this, I'm not interested. He read the paper, I was like, just do it. He stood up, went outside, and I was like, Uncle, come on, I can't be searching your house. I don't know where you kept it.
The document.
So can I have it and go? He went out, I followed. He came back inside, I followed. Uncle, let me go. It's getting late. And before I know what is happening, he shut the door too. And this time around, I didn't even argue.
That beating.
Because I don't want the beating
the
again.
belt and the backere, you don't want the beating.
So I didn't argue. I was just like, why are you mean like this? So he did what he did. I went back to my house. I didn't even tell anybody this time around. I was just looking at myself. And that was when, a month after, I discovered I was pregnant. I tried aborting that baby myself. I wouldn't lie. Though I don't have friends, probably if I had friends, I would have succeeded in aborting the baby. But I don't have anyone to talk to. And I can't go to my mom and say I want to abort. She will ask me, where did the pregnancy, how did it come about?
When you are not married.
When I'm not married. So
I'm laughing because I'm pained. So, I'm telling you.
I kept the pregnancy, all this local stuff we hear when you use alabukun with hot dry gin, like that.
It's a child that wants to. It's a child that is not ready to call. That's the one.
I will now mix the alabukun with the dry gin. I was hiding it. There was a day my mom even went to the market. She came back and I was drunk because I had taken more than enough. So I was drunk. She woke me up like, girl, stand up. I was, she was like, you know why she by?
Sometimes that's why in this profession we don't judge people. Because there are things that people go through. Can you imagine she met you drunk? Probably the next thing is neighbors or start beating.
No, she didn't even do that.
Some parents would do because they felt, How can you be drunk, church girl? Maybe you are a church. You know what I'm saying? You are embarrassing me.
Not even in the night.
Exactly.
In the afternoon.
Wow.
So she was like, what happened? I was not trying to comport myself, but the influence of the alcohol was getting at me. And this thing wasn't coming down. The pregnancy just refused to come. So I think she noticed that I have not mistreated that month because I would always go to her. In fact, my pad then was not always, she doesn't give me to have sex.
So she monitors.
So she monitors it. So it is, once it starts, you must come for, even the very first pad you're going to use, you must come for it from her. Like, mommy, my pad, you. So she now noticed that I have not come for the pad even at age 21. She now said, what was your last date? I told her, by now you should have even done it and forgotten about it. You have not asked for it. That was when I now told her that I'm pregnant too.
Hey, a widow for that matter.
She said, you are what? I said, I'm pregnant. She now said, for who? When? How did this happen? I did not tell her the whole story like the other time, because if I told her, maybe she would have just beaten the hell out of me. Like, okay, it happened to you the first time.
So you are not sensitive.
So you are not sensitive enough, and you still went the second time. Now you got yourself pregnant. So I didn't tell her the story, and I had to make her believe we were in a relationship. So when she now said, okay, and I should go and call him, and he himself, no denier, he accepted that it was, yes, I was this and that and that. So my mom was like, okay, what's the next thing? He now said, it's not for anything that he wants marriage. My mom never even asked me whether he even wanted the marriage or not. So they started planning.
She didn't know it was, the pregnancy was not consensual. So definitely she must have felt probably you wanted it.
And the man wanted marriage. So
exactly. How old was the man? The age difference?
About 17 years.
Older than you?
Yeah, 17, 16, thereabouts. Yes.
Was he married before?
No.
Wow.
So we started the journey. They were now planning, first daughter marriage. My mom was now putting everything she could, to make it a memorable one for me. But on the so-said marriage day, I was not happy.
How could you?
In fact, I used to say it to myself, and I think this would be my first time saying out. It happens to be the saddest day of my life.
Yeah, because the foundation was faulty.
And he was happy. Oh, very happy.
He has haunted his prey. Men are hunters.
So he
won as far as he's
concerned. He was happy. The dance was not here. When you're dancing like, yes, I'm a con, I'm a victor, like something like that.
I know.
So, and we started the journey. But I wasn't feeling anything. And so before that time, I think I went visiting to my grandmother's place. I think I was around after the first rape and stuff like that. I was at my grandma's place. I was grinding pepper. This our grinding stone. That day, I don't feel like leaning down to grind. Neither do I feel like standing up. I feel like sitting on those small stools we call apoti. And as I was grinding, I started feeling some kind of sexual sensation in me. Like I was feeling the urge. Like
before you met this guy?
Yes, before I met my husband. Like I was not feeling the urge like I wanted sex. While grinding pepper. And it's not just pepper. Atabigbe. Those dry pepper like that. I was not like And that, I think that would be the first time of me feeling that honey. So I felt after grinding the pepper, I prepared the meal and I was still. And that was what led to me masturbating. I don't even know the name.
What happened is your sexuality was opened wrongly. And of course, we are all sexual beings. I say that a lot. So having that feeling was not abnormal if you had not been wrongly exposed to sex?
So I just wanted something to bring down the urge. I was, what can I do? I took paracetamol.
You thought it was pain? Oh God, parent.
I took paracetamol. It was not coming down. I tried to stay under the fan. I was not just comfortable. So I don't know how. It was not that anybody taught me what to do. I just felt like I should put my hand upon my...
Touching yourself.
Touching myself, and I felt relieved. I was like, hey, so if I can touch this place, so anytime this thing comes around, if I touch this place, it will just go. So the next day, I think I still felt it. So I didn't even bother. I just looked for somewhere, and I touched, and I released myself, and that became
a pattern
for a while before I now. So it's now got to a stage, I think about 6 months of not like a regular day-to-day basis, but at least once or twice in a week it would happen. So I think after 6 months of doing that, I felt I was not happy doing it.
Your conscience
maybe the church mind, began to. So I was not trying to stop it. Anytime it comes, I just ignore it until I now got into marriage. It was that's the married thing is another story entirely. So it was inside the marriage I knew that he didn't do it because he loved me. He only did it because he wanted him married. And they wanted marriage, and they wanted children.
Girl, you went to collect church files, so at least the foundation shows that you can.
Then this marriage is another story. So I was not even a wife. I am not a wife. I became maybe a baby factory.
Wow.
No connection, no communication. Nothing. I'm just there. The whole room is ruled by somebody else entirely. I have no say. My home is just to give birth to the children, and
so you started having children for him.
Yes, the first one died. The one that I had, yes,
wow.
That one eventually died. So I had another, and another, and another.
Wow.
So the whole marriage of the thing was so. The masturbation came back again in the marriage whenever, we make out, and I don't even feel the satisfaction. I don't feel it. So I have to go and, go back to satisfy myself and all. So I now got to understand that what I was doing was called masturbation. The first time I heard the word, I was like, what is masturbation? I heard it from a male friend of mine. I think he was also struggling with it. So he told me that...
To everyone hearing the sound of my voice and listening to this story, I've packaged a teaching on winning the battle of watching pornography and masturbating. If you stumbled on this video and you're struggling with watching pornography, you masturbate, and you want to be free, like she said, she just felt at the time, I don't want to continue. Probably you're tired, you've gotten to the peak of, you're done, you don't want to continue. Reach out to me. It's already packaged for anyone that is willing to be free from watching pornography and masturbating. Go ahead with your story.
So it got to a stage I started praying about it when the friend of mine told me, like, okay, this is it. So I couldn't even voice my out. I just told him that it is well low. So he told me he's been praying about it, this, that, and all. I'll go home.
Please, can I say this also? You don't pray about watching pornography or masturbating. You take a step to your healing, to your wholeness. I know prayer works. I'm a faith-based person. But when it comes to any form of addiction, you need to be intentional in your healing. Prayers, therapy, counseling, exhaling it, bringing it out, or else you just be going around the circle of your struggle. Go ahead, Williams.
So I got home and I was like, I'm going to also put a stop to it. So definitely, I started reading about it, the health-wide hazard, the psychological hazard, the spiritual hazards. I started reading about them. I was like, so I've been doing a lot of damage to myself. It wasn't the time I finished doing it and I started crying.
It's in the brain. You were, you like you said, you started reading because of pain, an outlet. You started masturbating because of pain. It's an outlet. It's the way you exhale. You bring out the pain. You were medicating your pain. It was in the marriage. You were masturbating. It was when you were molested, you were assaulted, you got into masturbation. Okay. So what you do, it became addiction, because addiction is a way you medicate a pain that is in your soul. So you started with books. Now that was not satisfactory enough. You got into masturbation because the pain is still there and you're not treating it. And any wound that is not treated will keep decaying. And that's exactly what happened.
I did it one night like that and I was crying. I was begging God to help me out of it. I think the prayer works for a time. I abstained from it. And so when I left him, I decided that I wasn't going to go into...
So you end up leaving that marriage?
Yes, I left it. I left the marriage.
Because it was based on lies, deception, there was no consent.
And then before we know it, he started using words around me. He started using words against me like, you were just a young girl. I never met you a virgin.
Wow.
You're this, you're that. Telling the stories to whoever cares that I got married to him because he has the money.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, money, you are just a normal civil servant now. Civil servant, they have money. So, just that, an ordinary average guy. So, why are you painting it as if you are in millions? So, with everything, I left. Though not actually divorced, but I've been separated. Yeah. So I told myself I was not going to go into any relationship whatsoever. But after 5 years, of living, or 6 thereabouts, I started seeing a guy. But he's not actually saying anyway, just to look for someone to talk to and someone to... He's not here, he's based in Ghana. So do your Ghana, let me do my Nigeria here. And so why I now came out now, like I have been willing. In fact, my mom introduced me to this program. I think, these days when I go visiting, she'll tell me there's one pastor, Pastor Olufunke, can you come? She'll now tell me, I'll come and listen to her story. I think listening to you, she started picking some loopholes in her training towards us. In general,
all the children.
Now all the children. So she started picking. She started, she was like, at times I'll be with her. She was like, me a demo. She just say, me a demo. Me, I'll just take away my ears like, you do not know people. Jerry, it was just like you
didn't know, but ignorance is not an excuse. So you don't believe in law of gravity. That does not mean that the law of gravity doesn't exist.
So she would just tell me, I'll come and listen, the way you're going to treat your children. And thank God, I know I'm not a perfect mom, but I was able to build the love between my children.
It's what you didn't see your mom, you tried to replicate it.
I try to make my children love themselves. In fact, they come to me and ask me, Mommy, who's your favorite? I'm like, all of you. You're all my favorites. So if I'm buying something for one, and if I don't have money for the 3 of them, I dare not buy.
Exactly.
Not that I will say, okay, you, then you I will later, and that later will not even come till another time. So I try to make, so between themselves, they're just like, are your mommy's favorite? Well, no, I'm not. So you are. So they don't even know who is who. I tried as much as possible
to confuse them.
Nice
one.
Because if you offend me, the 3 of you will be in for it. The 3 of them will be scolded together. So they were like, who is offending? So they try to like, don't let mommy get angry. You know, when she's talking to you now, she'll just carry everybody together like that. So I try to just make them know that I love you guys.
But sometimes in a way, you can be wounding one child.
No, I didn't.
Especially the introverted one, I'm thinking.
The introverted one.
Because I know there'll be one.
Yes, there is one introverted
That's
one.
That's my job.
That one. You see that one that is introverted, they eventually think he's the one.
That is your favorite.
My favorite. Because I know that words get at him.
Exactly.
So when I'm now trying to carry all of them together,
now go back and
I will now go back and say, so you are not part of it though. But I just have to do
nice
what I
one.
did.
Go ahead.
So you are not part. So that
because I needed to clear that.
Yes, that was
somebody listening to us will, okay, when every one person does something, all of them.
I don't see.
Let's separate issues.
So once this one is doing best, we all embrace. If one is down, we are all the failure.
Yeah.
When one is up, we are all celebrating. And if I don't want to celebrate, once you have a win, I don't celebrate you. I won't celebrate anyone.
Nice one.
So I won't celebrate anyone. But once I've celebrated you, so the last one is always having the birthday first. So once I have done a birthday, no matter how small, it's a must for all of them. Once I do it for one, I do it for all. So I try to manage that because I don't want them to. They're all boys. I don't want them to end up like not knowing how to show love. Like I learned it in a very hard way, showing love to people. So I just had to live, like I said, just to get myself. In fact, it got to a stage I wanted to detach my children from him, because I was like, if God forbid, I said, if he's dead, I'll take care of my children, no matter how difficult it is. Though I know my salary isn't up to, but we'll survive one way or the other. But they won't even allow it. You know, the struggles, and the children now become like divided. The introvert now loves the father more.
Yeah.
And the extrovert loves me more. Then the other one was indecisive. Doesn't know where to belong. Whether here or there. So an uncle of mine now said to me that you are destroying these children.
Yeah.
Indirectly. Why not just allow them to
have access to
their dad? You know, you don't need to tell.
They can decide themselves to know exactly
where to
who
belong
the father
to.
is.
So it's not like by the time you are telling them the story, yes, I wouldn't say you shouldn't tell them. Let them know. You are letting them know, but you're not. It's not your place or their place to judge. But let them know and let them be free with their dad. Let them be free with you. They are grown. They will be growing. Before we know it, they will know who to.
They will know the truth.
The truth. And eventually they knew the truth, and the three of them were like, Mommy, we are sorry.
Wow. They saw the picture of the man. And they would have thought, oh, my mommy is at fault. It's the mommy that is at fault.
Of course. In fact, we got to the stage, the second one was like, I don't like you.
He told you?
Yes, I went, they all went to boarding school. They all went to a boarding school, so anytime I go visiting, I see the way he's not always happy. He's just there. It's
not his fault,
like,
I'm sure you
shall bring the provision you brought and let me go. I said, there was a day I said, I'm not here to give you provision. I'm here so that we can talk. Tell me, how do you feel about me? And please, don't hide it. And don't think that I'm going to beat you or scold you for that. No. I just want to know how you feel about me. I was like, are you sure you're not going to shout? Because they know that I'm the shouting mommy. Like, are you sure you're not going to shout? I said, this is a place. Oh, so why should I shout? And he said, I don't like you. I said, I know that you don't like me. And that's the reason why I'm asking you, like, okay, what did I do wrong that you don't like me? Like, I don't discriminate between you guys, even when you're not, because the introvert is the one that is actually not struggling
in his academics.
So I don't scold you. I'm a teacher myself. I understand all those things. So I don't scold you. Whatever you bring, all I do is encourage. Not that I'll shout at you like, hey, look at them, this and that. No, I don't. So, and I said, because you're always making my dad unhappy. So that was when I knew, like, okay, you know what? I want you to be free with your dad. I want you to relate with him. Then before the guy finishes the secondary school, there was a day he just called me, Mommy, I'm coming over to your place. It's your place I want to come do my holidays. In fact, you need to see me.
You'll be so happy. Yeah, I know, I understand.
I was so happy. He said, I told Dad not to come and pick me, so you have to come and pick me. I just called him. I think, okay, the first one too has finished secondary school something. I just told him, this is what social person says. Like, you better enter the car now, start going and bring him before he changes his mind. And he came around, you know, acting like a stranger in the house. So he started acting like a stranger, you know. It now took the effort of myself, his elder brother, the last one,
to reach out
to him and to
make you feel at home.
So anything he wants, I'll just give him at that time, even if I don't have it. So all of us were now pampering him, just to make him feel at home. And so before you know it, the second lady came. Mommy, come and pick me. Then when he finished his secondary school, he was like, I'm not going to go to my dad. I'm going to stay with you until I gain admission. And that was exactly what he did.
Wow.
So he gained admission. It was after we gotten the admission letter, that was when he now went home. And he went to present to his dad that I've gotten my admission. So the father was like, you know, during the time, won't you come home? You just tell him that I told you I'm preparing for my post-UTM. And I won't come home until I gain my admission, because I don't want what you did to my brother to happen to me. Because he gained admission to university before his older brother. Like, I don't want what you did to mine. Though it actually didn't say it to him, but it's always like, I don't want what they did to you to happen to me. No. I would rather stay here, gain my admission, then go and give him the letter. So, but in all, I just felt like when my mom introduced me to, I've once messaged you, but you didn't reply.
I'm so sorry. If you have messaged me,
I now left you like a year.
I have a lot on my time.
I just left like, okay, a time will come whereby I'll message her. Oh, I guess my story was even long then. It was a long epistle I wrote. Maybe that one even got you pissed. Like, who has the time to read this long epistle? So this time around, I just keep it short and simple. Like, I won't make it long. Let me just bring out the vital stuff. And these days, I'm beginning to see that my spiritual life is not what it used to be. I find it hard to pray. I find it hard to, it's like everything is just rushing back. I find it hard to pray. Even the praises I like doing most.
Because you have a very good voice, actually.
Because even the praises I like doing most, I find it difficult. So I try to play music and, but even playing that music, I'll just
drift off.
So, and I said to myself that I think it's high time I let it out.
Sure.
I think it's high time. I just want to be free. And I have said to myself once that the very first time I heard you listen to your program, I said I'm going to end up like you.
Come on now, welcome on board.
Like, I'm going to end up.
Welcome on board.
I'm going to be like you, you know.
A wounded healer. Come on.
Yes, I have to tell my story to the world. I'm covering my face now, right?
Yes.
By the time we come, I will not cover my face.
Come on now, let it be on record. Good.
I'll just have to let everybody know that this is it. So.
And what it is what it is. Come on now.
And I've always had it on my head. Like, there are a lot of girls out there, a lot of boys also out there, and so I just have to do something to prevent, to bring back,
and even parents
too.
So many things that would have been avoided. How could your daddy just trusted a plumber to come and help you to help him to fix the tap, and that was it.
So I think that was
your
the beginning of
deep. Thank you.
So that's why I'm here.
Wow. This is amazing. I didn't even know. why I intentionally allow her to just say it and bring it out. Now I understood that she wanted to let it out, because normally I would have picked some of the things and be talking about them and be teaching, but I just felt, I didn't even know that was her mindset, but I'm happy that she was able to let the cat out of the net. And I'm very, very convinced that everyone that have taken time to listen to this story will know that we mask a lot of things, we cover a lot of things. We became a victim of error because we don't have a choice. Getting pregnant for a man that raped her, molested her, it's not funny at all. It's saddening. Not to talk of having to raise children for that particular man. Still end up separating, having to live alone, looking for love in wrong places. If you are in that kind of a space in your life, please. She said something that struck my heart. She said she could not even pray because she has bottled up. She's not breathing out. She's not exhaling. She's just there, stuck. And she said, let it go, so that someone out there would receive comfort and receive knowledge and understanding on how to avoid a similar situation. Maybe you are there and you've been bottling up. You're trying to just shame. Let me tell you the truth. The only thing that is not redeemable is death. Shame is redeemable. She said something. She has really, really gave me some punchlines. She said, today I'm covering my face, but a time will come that I will not cover my face and I'll tell the world my story. I understand. The woman at the well, when she met with Jesus, she said, come and see a man who told me everything I've ever done. I mean, she just masked and summarized her story. What has she done? What did she do? She didn't break it down. But later, we were able to meditatively imagine having 6 husbands in her life. One life, 6 husbands. But she still had that mess that became a message to savage the whole city of Samaria. A loaded woman that was wounded. Diamond in the dust. A woman that has so much treasure. Right in that dust, there's a diamond. But at the moment when she was giving her story, she said, come and see a man who told me everything I've ever done. At the time, the testimonies was covertly done. But after some time, sure, one day she would just be there and said, what is wrong with all of you? I had 6 men in my life. They messed me up, tortured me. I broke some homes. I did whatever I can do to scatter some marriages. But when Jesus came to my life, I became a woman that saw the perfection of grace. Because that man that came, which is Jesus, is number 7, the 7th man. And 7 stands for perfection. And that is exactly where she is going. Because she said, one day, I'm not going to mask. I don't have to be covered. The world must hear me. Parents must understand. Raising children is not a joke. It's a lot of hard work. And I'm so grateful that she took time to just belch it out, to vomit it, and leave it there. Whatever anybody wants to feel, whatever anybody wants to say, is my story. My mess is my message. My mess is my ministry. My mess is my mandate. Of course, her past is her property. She will soon be selling it. The world will hear it. I'm very sure of that. I remember when I was sharing about my past somewhere and people were agitated by she's talking. And my brother-in-law, great man, he said, Funke, your past is your property, you can sell it. Wow, that resonated in me. And that made me to really appreciate the fact that she could see it as her past. And of course, she's on a journey to healing and recovery. This one alone. Because what we do in therapy is for you to bring out everything. I know there are some she could not say here because of the space, but at least some are out already. I want to say a very big thank you to you for coming to share this story.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And like she said, one day I want to be like you. Welcome on board. The sky is big enough for two birds to collide, except one is mad. More of you people, just come. Maybe you are there, you really want to come and share your story. I've had a lot of people lined up to share their stories, and I'm here to just listen, make you a story of someone's help and need and restoration and healing. Welcome on board. Thank you so much once again for coming. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do like, share, and subscribe. These are stories of men and women that have been through stuff, and today they can share with you. So as for you not to go through the same, let's learn from them. And if you are there, you still want to join me for me to bring you up on this program, The Heals, I will definitely be excited to have you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.